Welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on my twin turbo Dakota RT. Today we're going to be installing an electronic boost controller. So I'll show you what I got, and then I think I'm just going to get it hooked up and show you how I did it after. Buddy of mine, Jeff, donated this. Got a Go Fast Bits G-Force 3 electronic boost controller. It comes with a couple pieces of silicone vacuum line. Got a couple T's. It's got the head unit and a wiring harness. And it's also got a Mac valve. I think that's the proper terminology for it. So my plan is to put that on the firewall. This has twin turbos. I'm just gonna hook it up like it's a single turbo with 2 lines. I'm not gonna overthink that too much. I don't think that's gonna cause any problems. It should act the same. We're gonna find out. So this thing's gonna end up going where the ashtray would have been. This guy will end up going right here. I'll either get an ashtray and see if I can retrofit it into there, or I'll just make a bracket and put it right there and call it done. Now, I finally read the manual. This thing can do, it'll read boost, because here's your reference line right here, and this is the connection for that harness. It'll read boost, but you can also hook in a wideband analog signal and you can watch your wideband or boost, which is awesome, because I've been leaving this on the floor because I use this to tune lots of things, all my cars or all my factory style JTEC stuff. So it just plugs in a cigarette lighter and I use it. So this goes vehicle to vehicle, but this is a DC2, I believe. I think it's DC2. I have an LC2 and I want to put my center console back in, so I'm going to install my LC2 into the bottom inside the center console and just leave the USB or serial cable sticking out, so if I need a data log I can use that, and I'll send the analog signal to this. So that should neaten all this stuff up and I can get my armrest back. But I've let's see, I've already made a hole through the firewall right next to the gas pedal where the cable comes through. Right there. That seemed to be the easiest place. I just drilled a 3/4 inch hole. I'll get a grommet so that it's not going to cut on anything. I think for right now it's going to be alright. I'll probably have to order a grommet off Amazon or a pack of them. I forgot to while I was at Ace. So that's the general plan for it. I'm not going to go step by step building brackets and things. I'm just going to get it installed, get it working, and then show you how it finally ended up. But I'm going to get to it and then we'll pick up from there. Alright, here we are. Both lines, both wastegates. Tied into the MAC valve. There's our map signal, our reference, going to the controller. This isn't going to be exactly how I've been running it because I didn't have any pressure on the dome before. So we're not going to know exactly what boost it was running at, but I know it was very close to the minimum it can possibly run with whatever springs are in it. So now we've got some dome pressure. I ran the wires through the hole, up around the radio inside, and then it dropped down here, and this worked out pretty good. I don't have any Velcro here, but I've just got a piece of, I welded a piece of steel onto that, right there. So I've got some Velcro at work. I'll get, right now I still got a piece of duct tape folded over, sticking into it just enough. So I've set it up for overboost at 11 pounds, I think. I'm gonna go down the road and see what minimum boost is and then start upping it, see what it feels like. Let's check it out. It's hard to drive and hold this thing, but it looks like, let's see. 3.7 PSI. So it breaks loose in second and third on pretty low boost. That's good. So we got plenty of room to grow. Fuel pump's good, 450 liter per hour. Turbo should be good for quite a bit more. I don't know how much more pump gas is going to allow. We're 10.5 to 1 without the compression ratio with boost on pump. Eventually we might go to methanol. I don't see myself going to E85, but now we've got our base. I dynoed it, and it made 438 at the tire and 454 foot-pounds, and that was from 365 horsepower and 475 foot-pounds, 375 foot-pounds of torque before. And we kept trying to up the boost and it just wouldn't go up anymore. But I had no dome pressure at all, and I think the exhaust, the chambered exhaust, I had it blow off on me on a lunch break forcibly. I think it's causing enough back pressure. I want to test it. It may not be hurting power, but I think it is, because it blew that pipe off with some force. I couldn't get it back on. I had to take stuff apart to get the pipe back on. So I think that's why we couldn't up the boost. Now with the boost controller putting dome pressure, I'm sure we can force more boost into it now, and we're going to play with that here and adjust the duty cycle. And I think before I go back to the dyno, it's probably going to be in January, I'm going to do another test, testing back pressure between turbos and the mufflers. And I'm hoping to see some actual pressure, and then take them off, test it, and then put straight through mufflers on, because I know what it made before muffler change. I like to see what it makes after. But let's hit the highway and play with this duty cycle. Alright, now we're at 20% duty cycle. Barely touched it. I'm having a problem with the trans. No matter what I do, once I get right at full throttle, it kicks down and bounces off the limiter. Part of that's because the computer is not doing so hot. It's not really controlling the transmission. But that was 20, so it barely touched it. So let's go to 30. Alright, 30 didn't do much either. So let's go to 40. It did bump it up a hair. Those springs made us be way too weak. There we go. Saw 5.6 that time. Awesome. I'm gonna end up having to swap those springs out. Alright, we'll bump it up 10 more. I'm turning around on the highway. We're only gonna do so much. The third gear pulls, I can only raise so much hell where I'm at before someone comes to get me. 60% duty cycle. fine. I can feel it breaking up there. That's probably going to be it till I get the wideband working again and start data logging it. We gotta make sure we don't blow this thing up. That made a world of difference. We're not going to be able to do a whole lot more. I was guessing on how much boost it was making before, but first and second gear you can't hook, and third, if the road's too cold, it won't hook either with these tires. I've got my wheels here, my Nitto NT555 R2s, the 325/50s should be here in a couple weeks, I hope. They're supposed to estimated shipping the 6th. We'll find out. I don't know how much boost it can take on pump gas. There's no NOx sensors. There's no way to meter that with the factory setup. So I'm just going to have to pull plugs and make sure. I might need to go colder on the plugs. I definitely had some breakup, but on it must have been like 4.5 psi in the dyno when it made 438 and 454 foot-pounds. And it was clean because it was running clean. And once I up the boost past that, it's starting to misfire. Now it's probably still rich as hell because I had to pull some fuel out then. It was spitting and sputtering. It made 400 the first pull, and then pulled a little bit of fuel, 430, pulled a little more fuel. I had it was still on the fat side. It was closer to 11 than 11.5, but it picked up 8 more. I could have pulled a hair more, but I really didn't plan on dynoing. We were just having a dyno day. I went to work the dyno, and I was early, so I just threw it on. But this is definitely working. I had it it's running at 60%, 60%. Let me turn the key back on. Let's see. Oh, 62%. I will call 60 good. It's actually later in the day. Camera died. That's annoying. I'll be doing, my next thing will probably be an exhaust back pressure test before and after on the dyno, if I can schedule that. I've got some other things I want to work out. I rigged up a gauge because I was curious, because we think it should make more power than it does per pound of boost. I don't know what it's going to make there. If it was only 4.5 pounds, I mean, let's say it made, I have no idea. I should have put a gauge on it when I dynoed it, but I didn't plan on it. But I just went down the road, and I'll include a clip of trying to watch that while driving, and it's also a little rainy, but I managed to do it. So at 7 pounds, I've got a video of what that gauge did on the highway at full pull. And I think we got to about 3.5 to 4 psi back pressure after the turbos, before the mufflers. I have no idea, and I haven't found anywhere that says how much pressure it's going to hurt what. I imagine it changes by engine and by everything. So we're going to do a before and after. I've got to make another exhaust mount so the X pipe can hang all by itself without the mufflers. The muffler is the hanger right now on the back. And then we're going to go to the dyno. Now that I've got boost control and we know what boost we're at, we'll dyno it, and then I will just unbolt the mufflers, and it'll just be 3-inch X pipe and out, and we'll see what the hell that does. I'm curious. The X pipe might be making some back pressure all by itself. I don't really want to get rid of it. I don't like the sound of true duals, even on turbo stuff. Sounds like a Briggs and Stratton over here and a Briggs over here. I hate it. Gotta have crossover. But that's gonna be it for this video. You'll see that clip right after I get off the camera. Thank you for watching if you hung in this long, and if you're new, please like and subscribe. We'll keep building stuff.